Good morning students. Hello and welcome to our AIS online classes. We have discussed in admission of partner up to how to calculate PSR, gaining ratio, sacrificing ratio. We have also discussed the treatment of goodwill, its presentation, journal entries. Then we have discussed revaluation of asset and liabilities. Now the next heading was, in our very first class, we have discussed that we are going to learn 5 topics under this chapter, and then all the topics will be combined in 3 layers. We have discussed that we are going to learn 5 topics and all the topics will be combined in 3 layers. First topic was PSR, GR and SR. Second topic was valuation or treatment of goodwill. Third topic was revaluation of assets and liabilities, and now the fourth topic, adjustments of reserve and accumulated profit. Before the admission of the partner, the old partners were continuing the business. In their balance sheet there might be various kind of reserves, there might be various kind of profit and loss, accumulated PL, old profits, old reserves, old profits can be there. How the treatment of those reserves and profit will be done, we are going to discuss that in this class. First, let's discuss the list of the reserves in PL. Reserves to be credited to old partner. Reserves to be credited to old partners. That means in partners capital account, we will write in credit side. That means we will give those partner the reserve amount. We will distribute the amount of reserve among the partners. It's their right, old partners' right, because it was, or those figures were before the inclusion of the new partner or before the admission of new partner. So that reserves, those reserves and that PL, old PL, will on those things, old partner will have their rights. So we will give them, we will distribute them. How and which are the reserves first? First we are going to discuss the list. Which are the reserves to be credited to partners? Which are the reserves not to be credited? It will remain in balance sheet as it is. Yes, it will remain in balance sheet as it is. We cannot distribute and write off them. First we discuss the list which can be distributed and written off. Reserve fund, general reserve, capital reserve, contingency reserve, retained earning means general reserve. In your exam, they can give you the word general reserve or they can use the word retained earning. It doesn't matter to you. Retained earning, investment fluctuation reserve, investment fluctuation reserve, workman compensation reserve, undistributed PL, that means profit and loss. If it is a credit balance, then it's a profit. If it is a debit balance, then it is a loss. So profit, partners has a right. Loss, partners has a duty that it will be paid by them. Preliminary expenses, any preliminary expenses, deferred expenses will be there in asset side. Those expenses don't have any value. Now it will be written off from balance sheet. It will be distributed to partners. So how they will be dealt, we will discuss later on. Now what is the list which cannot be credited? What are the reserves which cannot be credited to partners, which will remain in balance sheet, in new balance sheet? Employee Provident Fund Reserve. As we have deduct the amount of Provident Fund from the salary of our employee, we cannot distribute among ourselves. We need to pay it to government. PF company deduct from the salary of employee, give it to government, and at the time of retirement, that employee get that amount from government with interest. So PF, when we deduct from employee's salary, we need to give it to them. We need to give it to government. We cannot distribute among ourselves. So Employee Provident Fund Reserve cannot be distributed. Taxation fund, if we have kept certain reserve for paying of tax, if we have kept certain reserve of fund to pay future tax, that we cannot distribute among ourselves, we need to give to government. Employee saving fund, we have deducted certain amount from salary of our employee in the name of saving, and we have said them that we will give it to them at the time of retirement. That means we cannot distribute it among ourselves. We need to give it to our employee at the time of retirement. हम लोग उसको खा के खत्म नहीं कर सकते, हमको employee को देना पड़ेगा at the time of retirement. So employee saving fund we cannot distribute among ourselves. Machine replacement fund, if any amount has been kept to replace any machine, it is a type of depreciation fund, provision for depreciation. It cannot be distributed among the partners. So these are the 4 items mainly which cannot be distributed among partners. These are the 8 to 9 items which can be distributed among partners. Now what is the way to distribute? And keep my words. Workman compensation reserve and investment fluctuation reserve. These two need to be discussed separately. In our next part we will discuss that. Workman compensation reserve and investment fluctuation reserve. Those cannot be distributed among partners directly. There are certain treatments to it. We will deal with that. But remaining other, it's very simple. Reserve means credit balance or liability. Reserve are in the liability side of the balance sheet. That means it is a credit balance. We need to distribute among the partners. Liability has always has a credit balance. We need to cancel it and give it to partner. Learn the language. The answer is within the language. We need to cancel the reserve and give it to old partners. Reserve has a credit balance. When I am saying that we need to cancel it, then we need to debit them. So reserve account debit, PL credit balance account debit to old partners, as it will increase their capital. We are giving it to them. It will increase their capital. So when old partners' capital is increasing, we need to credit it. So reserve account debit, as we are cancelling reserve PL, reserve account debit, PL account debit to old partners. If it is there a debit balance of PL, if there is a debit balance of PL, that means loss. Loss always has a debit balance, we need to cancel it. So it will be credited. Preliminary expenses, it is also loss. It will be credited. And loss reduce the capital of the partner, the old partner's capital account debit. So if it is reserve and PL credit balance, treatment is very simple. Reserve account debit, PL account debit to old partner, and when it is a loss, old partner's capital account debit to PL to preliminary expenses. The entries are simple. Now we are going to the presentation part. Guys, it's very simple. Old partners capital, I will write by PL, by reserve, so by general reserve, by investment fluctuation reserve, by workman compensation reserve, by PL, by general reserve, by contingency reserve, by capital reserve. I will write this side. If it is this entry, it's loss. So in old partners capital, I will write 2 PL, 2 preliminary expenses, 2 PL, 2 preliminary expenses. And all those figures we have discussed, we will distribute among old partners. New partner doesn't have any right or obligation on all these reserves and PL. No right, no obligation. So, in my example, Mr. C is the new partner, A and B are old partner. So, A and B will get these all reserves and PL, or we can take it from them if there is a loss. Mr. C will not bear anything. Everything is cut off over there. This is how the treatment is done. This is how the journal entries are prepared. Guys, I have told in my lecture, workman compensation, investment fluctuation reserve. There might be some cases given. We are going to discuss those parts. Now, we are discussing those two reserves, workman compensation reserve and investment fluctuation reserve. What are the cases which you can get in exam and how to deal with it? Workman compensation reserve. What does it mean? We have kept aside certain amount which will be required when any worker get injured and he claims during the work or due to the work he get injured, his hand got in the machine, anything mishap can happen. When a worker get injured, he claim compensation from the company. His treatment, his compensation to live his life, it is all dealt by the company. So for that, company kept a reserve aside for that risk due to the injury of the worker. What will happen if you have a WCR, Workman Compensation Reserve, and no claim has been done by the employee? No injury was there. At the time of admission, there is no injury. We can utilize that reserve. We can distribute that reserve among the partners, in old partners. So entry we have learned, reserve account debit to old partners capital. But what will happen if there are some cases in it? First case, worker claim compensation. One worker got injured, he came and he is claiming for a compensation. Suppose, let's say an example, in our balance sheet, workman compensation reserve is of 10,000. I have a reserve of 10,000. One worker came and he says he has become injured and he is claiming 3,000 and company has admitted that claim. Company accepted, yes, we need to pay you 3,000. How to deal with that situation? In my first case, if our WCR is 10,000, no worker came to claim, I will distribute that 10,000 among the old partners. Workman compensation reserve account debit to A's capital to B's capital. In their old ratio, suppose it's 2:3. So then 10,000 will be divided in A and B, 2:3 ratio. That is 4,000 and 6,000. But if there is a claim, what will happen? A worker came in, he is saying that he has got injured and he has claimed a compensation of 3,000 and company has agreed to it, company has accepted the claim, admitted the claim. Now what will happen? We need to pay him 3,000. So first that entry will be done. Workman compensation reserve account debit to cash and bank. To cash या bank. To cash or bank. Workman compensation reserve account debit to cash or bank. 3,000 gone. Now remaining 7,000 we will distribute among old partners. Workman compensation reserve account debit to old partners capital. That means workman compensation reserve account debit to A's capital to B's capital in 2:3 ratio in their old profit sharing ratio. So this is the extra entry we have got to learn if a worker's claim. Now second case, if claim is more than reserve, I have a reserve of 10,000 and the worker came in and he claimed rupees 12,000 as an injury claim, as an injury compensation. Company admitted it. Now what to do? How the entry will be done? First, we need to create 2,000 reserve and then 12,000 will be paid to worker. I have a reserve of 10,000, I need to create more 2,000 reserve, and reserve is a liability. Whenever liability increases, revaluation account comes in effect. Asset or liability increase or decrease, revaluation account comes into part. So revaluation account debit to WCR 2,000. Reserve increased, liability increased. Whenever liability increase, we should credit it. Revaluation account will be debited. So first entry will be revaluation account debit to WCR, and then that WCR will be paid to worker. If the question is saying company has paid it, then WCR to cash or bank. If the sum doesn't say anything, keep this entry. In your new balance sheet, reserve will be 12,000. In your new balance sheet, reserve will be 12,000. Don't do this entry of payment. If the question says we have paid it, then payment done. WCR to cash or bank. 12,000. 2,000 reserve will be created, 12,000 will be paid. I have a 10,000 reserve already, 2,000 new created. Now my reserve becomes 12,000, Out of the reserve, I have paid it. So this is how we do if a worker claim any compensation. Now coming to investment fluctuation reserve. There are three cases, A, B and C. What is investment fluctuation reserve? Suppose in my balance sheet there is an investment in asset side of which value is, in my book value, in my balance sheet the value is 15,000. No other thing is being said in the question. And my reserve is 5,000. Why I have created this reserve? First we need to understand it. I have a risk that the investment value fluctuates in the market. Suppose I have invested in shares of a company. Then that investment will fluctuate. There is sure short chance. It might go up, it might go down. It goes up, it doesn't have any problem. But it goes down. Our conservatism concept of accountancy says, if there is any risk, we should book it now. So we have kept a reserve to deal with that fluctuation. We have kept a reserve that if my asset value, investment value goes down, I have a reserve to deal with that. To cover that loss or to cover that risk, I have a reserve. Now, let's say I have a reserve of 5,000 and 15,000 is my investment. Sums doesn't say anything that whether the investment has gone down or up. Sums is silent on that. Don't take any tension. That investment fluctuation reserve will be distributed among all partners. Investment fluctuation reserve account debit to A's capital to B's capital. In old ratio, we will distribute it. Jhamela khatam. But if market value of the investment is also given in the question, your book value is 15,000 of the investment, and the question is giving you the market value of investment. Let's say market value of the investment is 12,000. I have a reserve of 5,000. My book value of the investment is 15,000 and the market value is 12,000. So I have faced a loss of 3,000 rupees. 15,000 investment is there, but its market value 12,000. That means if I go and sell this investment today in the market, I will only receive 12,000. 3,000 loss is there of investment. That loss will be compensated from reserve? Yes. If investment value less than market value, investment fluctuation reserve to investment. Guys, आप लोगों ने बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज सीखा कि एसेट का वैल्यू डाउन हो. If any investment goes down, we will deal with revaluation account. सोचो, एसेट का वैल्यू घट रहा है तो एंट्री तो रिवैल्यूएशन में होना चाहिए था. Asset value is going down, then it should have been done from revaluation account. But we haven't done that. Why? As we have a reserve for that. If reserve would have not been there, then we have done that. Revaluation account debit to investment, 3,000 rupees. If there would have been no reserve prepared by the company, then we have done that entry. Revaluation account debit to investment. Because we have learned that whenever any asset's value goes down, we should deal with revaluation. Asset and liability up and down, deal with revaluation account. But here, as we have kept a reserve separately to deal with this situation, the reduction in the value of asset, reduction in the value of investment, to deal with that situation, we have a separate reserve. So that adjustment will be done with reserve, not with revaluation account. So investment fluctuation reserve account debit to investment. What was my example? I have a reserve of 5,000. 15,000 is my investment value. Now it becomes 12,000. I have a loss of 3,000. That 3,000 reduction in the value of investment. Investment goes down, I have credited. Asset goes down, it will be credited. And I am utilizing the reserve amount, 3,000. Now how much reserve I have in my hand? 2,000 more. I have a 5,000 reserve. 3,000 adjusted. 2,000, that will be distributed among all partners. So first, reduction in the value of investment will be dealt with investment fluctuation. Remaining reserve will be paid or distributed among all partners. Investment fluctuation reserve to all partners. Second case, if reserve value less than fluctuation, I have a reserve of 5,000. My investment value is 15,000. Now the market value of investment today's date is 9,000. Market value of investment is 9,000. How much loss I am getting? 6,000. 15,000 investment became 9,000. I am fetching a loss of 6,000. How to deal with that? I have a reserve only of 5,000. First, 1,000 new reserve will be created. Then the adjustment will be done. So revaluation account debit to investment fluctuation reserve. 1,000 new reserve created. Now I have a 6,000 reserve. I will do investment fluctuation reserve account debit to investment. Same entry. First entry, same entry. I have adjusted investment with reserve. I have adjusted reduction in the value of asset or in the value of investment with reserve. Investment fluctuation reserve account debit to investment. So first I need to create 1,000 reserve. Reserve is a liability. I am creating a liability. It will be from revaluation account. Revaluation account debit to IFR and then IFR to investment. Third case. Market value more than book value. Aha. It's a win-win situation. 15,000 is my value of investment. Now it became 18,000. 15,000 investment in my book value. In market, if I go and sell today, the investment can be sold at 18,000 rupees. That means I am getting 3,000 profit. So market value is greater than book value. First, we need to increase investment by 3,000 and asset is increasing. It will be deal with revaluation. Learn this. It will be deal with revaluation. Investment account debit to revaluation. And then the reserve which is in my book 5,000. Remember my example, I have a reserve of 5,000. That will be distributed among all partners. So increase in the value of asset, increase in the value of investment, I have deal with revaluation account and that 5,000 reserve I have distributed among all partners. These are the cases, student, which we get in WCR and IFR. Workman compensation reserve and investment fluctuation reserve. Now let's deal it with an example. Let's start with this an example. First take an example of workman compensation reserve. RS and our partner in 2:3 ratio. They have admitted Mr. D as new partner and their new PSR become 1:1:1. Before admission of Mr. D, their old balance sheet, they have a workman compensation reserve 80,000 in the liability side. Now there are three cases. Number one, no information given. Number two, worker claimed 65,000 as a compensation. And number three, worker claimed 1 lakh as in compensation. How to deal with the situation? First case, no information given. We will distribute this workman compensation among all partners in their old ratio. As no information is given, no worker has claimed any compensation, we will distribute this 80,000 among the old partners in their working capital, in their profit sharing ratio. Workman compensation is the account debit to R capital to S capital. I have divided 80,000 into 2:3 ratio. That is 32,000 and 48,000. Second case, and what will be the presentation of that? In partners capital, I will write by workman compensation is 32,000 and 48,000, and in my new balance sheet there will be no workman compensation reserve as it has been distributed among partners. Now case 2, worker has claimed 65,000. I have a reserve of 80,000, out of which worker has claimed 65,000 and company has admitted that yes, we will pay you 65,000 for as a compensation for your injury. Now 80,000 is my reserve, 65,000 claimed, 15,000 remaining there. That will be distributed among old partners in old ratio. So look at the treatment. Workman compensation reserve 15,000 to R capital to S capital 6,000, 9,000. This 65,000, if the question says it has been paid, then I will write workman compensation reserve account debit to cash. And if the sum says it has not been paid, it has only been admitted till now, there is no information regarding payment of the compensation, then this 65,000 will be shown in my balance sheet as my liability. Either I have paid or it is yet to be paid. If I have paid, then workman compensation reserve to cash, and if it is yet to be paid, then workman compensation reserve will be shown in balance sheet liability side. 65,000 rupees. Third case, worker has claimed 1 lakh rupees. I have a reserve of 80. Worker has claimed 1 lakh. Now what to do? More 20,000 reserve first need to be created, and then we will pay off the liability. First, revaluation account debit to workman compensation reserve. New reserve created. Any liability or asset, new creation, we will do it by revaluation account. Revaluation account debit to workman compensation reserve. 20,000. Now I have a 1 lakh reserve, 80,000 there in balance sheet, 20,000 I have new created. It's 1 lakh. That if sum says we have paid it, then workman compensation reserve to bank, 1 lakh. If sum is silent on that, or sum is saying claim admitted, there is no information regarding payment, then in balance sheet we will write workman compensation reserve 1 lakh. 80,000 was there, 20,000 more created. That means now our liability becomes 1 lakh to pay to the worker or labor as in compensation. So these are the 3 cases, 3 entries and presentation. Now we are going to investment fluctuation reserve. Yes, now an example on investment fluctuation reserve. Suppose there are 3 partners, A, M, P. Their profit sharing ratio is 5:3:2. Mr. R has been admitted for 1/6 share of profit. Their old balance sheet is showing investment 1,50,000 and there is a reserve of investment fluctuation reserve 13,500. There are 5 cases. Case 1, no information given in the question regarding any use of reserve, or there is no information given regarding the fluctuation of investment, whether the market value has gone down or it has came up, we have no information. Then this reserve will be distributed among old partners in old ratio. 13,500 investment fluctuation reserve account debit to K's capital, to M's capital, to P's capital. 13,500 divided in 5:3:2 ratio. That is 6750-4050-2700. What will happen in our presentation? This all will go in partners capital account credit side because it will increase their capital, and in balance sheet no investment fluctuation reserve will be shown, and investment will be shown at 1,50,000. If question says investment to be carried in the balance sheet, then this entry will not be there. Case 2. Market value of investment 1,47,000. My investment book value is 1,50,000. Market value gone to 1,47,000. That means 3,000 loss. First I need to adjust this loss with this reserve because this reserve was created to adjust the loss. Then I will create or I will distribute the total reserve among old partners. First entry will be investment is reduced. The investment will be credit, and I am utilizing the reserve. Reserve as a credit balance. I am utilizing it. That means I am cancelling it. So it will be debit. Investment fluctuation reserve account debit to investment 3,000. And then investment fluctuation reserve 13,500 was there. 3,000 utilized. Remaining 10,500 will be distributed among old partners. So IFR account debit 10,500 to K's capital, to N's capital, to P's capital. Case 3. Market value of investment 1,52,000. My investment was 1,50,000. Now it becomes 1,52,000. 2,000 gain. 2,000 gain. Investment value goes up. Investment created. We must counter it from revaluation account. Investment increased. The investment account debit to revaluation. Now, this 13,500 will be distributed among old partners. Investment fluctuation reserve account debit to K's capital, to N's capital, to P's capital. It's distributed. Case 4. If my asset value is, investment value is 1,50,000, same as case 1. It was 150, it's now 150. No need to change. Whole 13,500 will be distributed among all partners. So same case 1 entry will be there. And case 5. Investment value become 1,35,000. 1,35,000. It has been reduced from 1,50,000 to 1,35,000. That means 15,000 loss is there. And I have only reserve of 13,500. So first I need to create 1,500 more reserve. It will be revaluation account debit to investment fluctuation reserve. It will be revaluation account debit to investment fluctuation reserve. Then investment fluctuation reserve 15,000 will be used, full 15,000 will be used to adjust this loss to investment account. Investment fluctuation reserve account debit to investment account. Because I was in need of 15,000 to adjust this loss. I don't have. I have only 13,500. First I have created 1,500 reserve, 13,500 old reserve plus 1,500 new reserve. It becomes 15,000. And I have a loss in asset 15,000. Whenever I am adjusting loss with IFR, I need to this entry. IFR account debit to investment account 15,000. So this is the treatment, student, we need to do for IFR and WCR.